taking the same amount of calls, selling the same exact thing. What changed?
All the techniques, all the sales training, all the active feedback from actually working together all kicked in, and that's really what shined in like that month.
Let's talk about the numbers, man. How much were you making in March when we first started working together that month?
March was 3772.
3,772. Okay. How much was it May?
We made 10,160. The offer that I was on had their worst month ever. Marketing was terrible. Closers left. They made nothing. I went to top closer.
Again, you don't have the experience. What were you able to share with them pre-interview that they were like, huh, maybe we should even interview this kid in the first place?
I think it was.
What up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a special client interview today. This is a prime example of everything I talk about. I mean, I think everyone is, but this one's special because it's a prime example of opportunity meeting skill set. And so I won't say too much yet. Damian, tell the people, man, who are you? What do you sell?
Yeah, so my name is Damian. Um, right now I'm selling life coaching, BizUp, for a very profound name that I can't say, but 8-figure a year offer. Yeah.
Yeah, big boy offer, right? So let's briefly talk about numbers before we get into the specifics here, right? Of like what changed. We started working together in March. Crazy story here. I was literally in the village, like I was deep in the village, getting bit up by mosquitoes when I took the sales call with you. And it fell off. And like I had to have my business partner, Jason, take the rest of the call and onboard you. Like it was very messy. First thing is we're not princess closers over here. We make it work, right? That's number one. Number two is let's talk about the numbers, man. How much were you making in March when we first started working together that month?
So 3K, that's how much I was making on the offer I was on. Previously, it was a career coaching.
Yeah, and what was the exact number that you made?
That was in March, it was 3772.
3,772. Okay. And then you stayed on that same offer, right? And we had a full month of working together. How much did you make in April?
In April, jumped up to 5,350.
Okay. And then May, how much was it May?
Yeah, last month, May, we made 10,161.
And this is in 2 weeks, mind
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
right? So I think the thing to note here is like everyone talked about how, oh, I'm on a shitty offer. I need to get on a better offer. He only made that because he was on a good offer. You really wouldn't have gotten on a good offer, but pre March, right? You came in, went from 3,700 to 5,300. That's still a $1,600 difference right there.
Yeah.
For you to make 2 grand more, taking the same amount of calls, selling the same exact thing, what changed?
Biggest thing was knowing, like one thing that you always say I know is knowing what the sale that needs to be made is. I could go into like all the frameworks, all the techniques, everything I've learned working with you guys, but I would say that is one of the biggest things that I've really internalized on top of all like the inner work and taking accountability was that month that I jumped from that 3 to 5K. The offer that I was on had their worst month ever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
marketing was terrible, closers left, they made nothing. I went to top closer when
Mm-hmm.
I was in, like, 3rd place too, so
Mm-hmm.
when I shouldn't have made more, all the techniques, all the sales training, all the active feedback from actually working together all kicked in, and that's really what shined in, like, that month, and that's how I knew already. Before
Yeah.
getting on a better offer, I already knew, "Okay, boom, this worked. This did its job."
Yeah. Hey, like you acquired a lot of skill, right? Like the sale that needs to be made. Like briefly, what does that even mean?
Yeah, so for me, I came in and my concept of like sales was being able to sure gather pain and create this gap between pain and goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, that when it came to really listening and understanding the person, just like sales tactics, sure, but all of the tactics and everything aside, and being a real person and
Mm-hmm.
listening to the little things that the prospect would say, because not every time I might have came into a call assuming it's going to be this because the last 5, 10 calls were that for a person, but then I hop on the next call and it's something completely different where instead of they're trying to get rich or make money, it's like they have zero time.
Yeah.
Being able to find what that thing was and
Mm-hmm.
use that language throughout the call and come to actually help them around that one thing.
Yeah, like making this like selling them on what they want as opposed to what you want. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same offer, same leads, 2 grand more. Now you had a sexy close rate, right? You were
Yeah.
top rep, which is like great for the ego,
Yeah.
but you still weren't making any money, right? Like 6 grand is cool, but like that's really not much money for real. And
Yeah.
so you going from there to a new role, what do you think was the thing that allowed you to be able to even get on an eight-figure team?
For sure. That's a big part of too, like the program, like you being able to even place me on that. But most importantly, just the action. Like like any other offer or anything, you probably heard that before, is like it comes down to you, comes down to the student, comes down to the person. And I know for a fact that's what allowed me to actually do well on this, is because I implemented everything. I showed up to every single role play, I showed up to every single call, and
Mhm.
it did better when I shouldn't have on this offer that I was on previously. But then
Yeah.
now when I got on this new offer, everything just did its job. Everything fell into place, and it's kind of like karate. It reminds me of Karate Kid, like when you're doing the moves and then
Yeah.
like you think you're just wax on, wax off until opportunity the right opportunity comes. And now, on a rep where people have been there for years, I'm second place within 2 weeks.
For real. For real. People have been
Yeah.
on there 5 years, right? The pick up the coat, put it back down.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah.
started to make sense. And
Yeah.
what did you share with the offer owners there? The hiring people, sales managers, what did they see from you that they were like, okay, he may not have all the experience in the world,
Mhm.
but we're still gonna take a chance on him. What were you able to provide them?
Yeah. So I remember hopping on that interview, and really, really short interview, but they just like normal threw me an objection. And the thing that stood out for them is after seeing the numbers, the close rate, all of that, they wanted to see an actual objection handled. And you talk a lot about this, but it's not even just all about objection handling. What I was able to
Mhm.
do though is show them kind of what we've learned is that internal urgency and being able to tie from all of that, really all that pain, all that information, and actually hearing the prospect and being able to help the prospect that they were playing actually overcome that fear for themselves.
Mhm.
And when they seen that compared to like like four closers they just fired,
Yeah.
um, they were impressed. And even though if I was like underqualified on paper, been here performing, and it's been great.
Yeah, number two on an eight-figure offer, 10 grand in 2 weeks, not even a full month, like I keep saying. And like if we go even pre-interview, because most people won't even make it to the interview stage. If we go pre-interview, when you applied, you've collected less than $1 million in cash at that time, right? You again, you don't have the experience. What were you able to share with them pre-interview that they were like, huh, maybe we should even interview this kid in the first place?
Yeah, so for sure, what it was the actual call recordings. They asked for all the proof, all the evidence, all the dashboards, and everything. And even they were able to recognize that if maybe the offer wasn't the best, after reviewing my calls, after breaking them down, and like the salesperson there being able to look at that, seeing just the sales process be done flawlessly, seeing that good balance between like a logical sell and an emotional sell for their type of
Mhm.
avatars, and seeing where maybe their reps had lacked and
Yeah.
seeing that surplus when it came to me. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. I'm glad I have more living proof that game tape footage matters more than anything.
for
Like
sure.
you can be inexperienced, you can not have the sexiest resume, but if someone could look at a call and like a loom too, make sure you could present yourself well. But if you could look at a call and see like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing,
Hmm.
you'll get hired on some of the biggest offers. That's same with me, man. Like
Yeah.
the first big offer that I got on where I was making 20 grand a month, I had collected like 100 grand, right? But they were like, you know what? I'm listening to his calls. This kid's got it.
And
And
to add to that too, is before I don't think I told you this, but before I got on that offer that I'm on now, with all the game tape footage, like I made the Google Drive, the Loom video, the resume, everything that people were asking for because I was applying during that time already, kind of planning to transition. And
mhm.
I got there was like 3 or 4 offer owners and sales managers that already were trying to hire me. Already were trying to.
Damn, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually got on one of them and I had to tell them like, "Hey, this better opportunity presented itself." But it was like the difference from having that game tape, having those call recordings with a good sell, like an actually good sales process, It
Mm-hmm.
made like getting on a good offer so much easier too.
Yes, yes, that's crazy. I had no idea, man.
Yeah,
Um, well, you've come a long way, and I'm super proud. And obviously, we're going to continue to work together. Tell me a little more about your experience with the coaching itself and the
yeah,
attention that you get. It's like
yeah,
with the actual coaching.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
how would you describe that?
Yeah, that's I think that goes so like what's the word, underrated, because well, I watched your videos, like that's I fell into your YouTube funnel. I watched all the free content first, lead magnets, everything. And I remember like hop in, booking the call and everything. And for sure, just like expectations exceeded. And I don't just say that, like the amount of detail and having opportunities to get extra role plays in and extra reps, not just with all these other students and just doing it yourself, but having someone there, having a mentor, having the team there to actually supervise and critique and give that a criticism and not let bad habits slide. That's wild. I've never seen that before. On top of
Mhm.
like all the call reviews and being able to get live feedback, not just joining a group call and everything being generalized. You get like this hype feeling like you got something, and then you go and you wonder why you're still not closing. But
Yeah.
being able to get, hey, this is the call that I had, this is the mistakes and where to improve. And then like count like countless times I can't even count where getting those call reviews, taking them on my next call, implementing them, and then getting a PIP. Like
Yep.
and then just, step after step. That's a big thing I know that is super huge in the program and the team here is like focusing on the one step. I can't thank that enough. I don't think anyone's done that with me before. Like that approach
Mhm.
that you do is different where it's like let's fix one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Forget objection handling, forget everything else. I've never seen that before. I know for sure like that's where a lot of that growth comes from too.
Yeah, it's easy to give a sexy answer that, I feel good about, but that
Mhm.
doesn't help you. If there's anybody listening to this, like if I remember when I was getting torn up by these mosquitoes deep in the village, the objection, you didn't give me really any objections, you were laid down, but the objections you used to give yourself before investing, like what kinds of excuses were you giving yourself first?
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Biggest one, I think I said this on the call, and not necessarily an objection, but that thing for sure that had held me back was I'll get training when I make a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the thing that I have a bunch of friends in like in this space too. Same exact thing that they tell themselves is I'll get training once I have a good month or let me see how well I can do. And that's what I did. Like my first month, I wanted to see how well I did on that offer. And in reality, that's not the way it works. It's like that's the very reason why I should get training because I did that and nearly doubled my commission, went all the way to top closer, and had my best month ever when I shouldn't have. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I would say. Yeah.
And how do you think that's helped you be able to have those kinds of conversations when your prospects give you similar excuses?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sales is all internal. Sales is a mirror, like you always say. And so being able to have that internalized too and have overcame that now when I hop on those sales calls and people tell me, I mean, like I use my last money to invest into this. I remember
Greaser.
I remember
Greaser.
I
This was a
remember that
clarity pay grease.
No, I remember that conversation. But I was like, okay, there's no point. There's no point in waiting. I shouldn't have waited even like that last month to see if I knew that training was what I needed. Even if like I thought training was what I needed, deep down really I knew. I knew. It wasn't I think. I was telling myself that, but I knew I needed training. And so when I get a prospect like that too, I can talk with such conviction. They can't beat around the bush and like hide around that like, oh yeah, maybe I should do this, man. Like I can just ask them questions and have them open up and say exactly why they don't think but they know this is the right thing for them.
Oh yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. Congruency, right? It's energy. They could
exactly.
feel it. Um,
Exactly.
well, like I keep saying, fucking proud of you, dog. And
Yeah.
those 20K months are right around the corner.
Yeah.
If someone is on the fence right now, they're listening to this, maybe they're about to have a call with me or the team. Maybe they've already had a call. Maybe they haven't even booked one, and they're giving themselves similar excuses.
Mhm.
What would you tell them? What advice would you give to that closer or business owner?
Yeah. Yeah. I would just tell them the same exact lesson that I learned was that the very thing that the very reason really why you need to do something or why you feel like you need training or why you want to make more money is the exact same reason that's like holding you back. And so if it's like you want to make more money, but then you're scared to invest that money, how do you think that's going to show up for your prospects, right? If you want more time so that you can be with your family or so that you can travel, right? Or you can live that life that like we actually all get into this space for. But you're not
Hmm.
willing to invest the time into yourself and get in actual experts, people who have done the numbers that you want to and have proven themselves with multiple students, then honestly you just don't you don't deserve it. You know, you don't. And I came in knowing that, like being seeing other programs, working and closing for them myself, is not everyone deserves it. Right. And if you
Yeah.
don't want it that bad, like that's it. But if you do, then, start acting like that person and it will be yours.
Someone's got to put the fries in the bag. So,
So, yeah, so I'm gonna take my order.
well, appreciate you a lot. If you are listening and you were on the fence, this is living proof. If you're telling yourself that the offer you're on is the problem, there's a chance it could be, but you're the problem first, which is okay because it means you're also the solution. So, if that sounds like you, you're ready to either get on a better offer or succeed in the offer you're in, hit the first link in the description and you will talk to either me or my team. We will get you absolutely correct, hopefully get you to the same place where you're making consistent 10 plus K months. And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.